Hey guys, welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a FIZZ commentary, but what I'm going to actually do is do it from the replay file so I can actually break down more in detail rather than me playing and talking at the same time, because I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of crucial information. Like, this will actually help you guys in your own games. So I want to go through just from my point of view, though. I'm not going to use the global vision or anything, and I'm going to try and explain a few things. I'm going to try and explain the mindset behind each decision, how you can come to each decision, and a few of FIZZ fundamentals that are, applied to a lot of different champions, but mainly just FIZZ in this specific game. And I want to try and go as deep as possible on both, the laning phase, the early game, mid game, every part of this game, and try and really break it down in detail. So for the first thing here, I'll actually jump quite quickly into the runes that I really like on playing FIZZ. I've been playing a lot of FIZZ recently. I think it's a really good champion for you guys to climb in solo queue at all elos. This is actually a challenger game on my challenger account. But it even works in gold, platinum, diamond, 100%. So I really like to take electrocute with sudden impacts because obviously with the dash, I like to take ghost pyro, because I just feel like there's a lot of opportunities where I'm roaming and I'm actually getting deep vision on the way through for a roam, and I just really like it. I think eyeball collection is fine also, but ghost pyro is just that next level of complexity. But I think it's worth it if you're end up roaming a lot and getting that deep vision on your own. And then also I like taking Ravenous Hunter. You can also go Relentless Hunter for the movement speed, but again, that's just a preference thing. And then actually I've been experimenting a lot with secondaries. At the moment, I really think that Triumph and Legend Tenacity are probably the two that I take pretty much every single game. Unless I'm versing a really, really difficult lane, sometimes I go Biscuits Time Warp, but majority of the time I really like Triumph for that extra heal, because generally the fights you go on are really, really close, so you really need that extra kind of health after you kill someone's really helpful. And then Legend Tenacity is actually a super underrated rune for FIZZ, because a lot of the time you're diving in, you're going to have to get CC'd no matter what, and it can just really help you get over the line, both play aggressively and defensively, get out. Let's kind of run through quickly the team composition. So versus a Lee Sin jungle, I'm versing a Vlad. There's a Gnar versus Urgot top lane, and it's a Kate Thresh versus MF Morgana bot lane. So here in this game, I'm already thinking when I'm heading into the game here, and actually because I have Ghost Pyro, I actually really like to chuck a ward on these Raptors, because I'm unsure whether Vlad is going to try and push me in level 1 and 2. If that's the case, it's going to be really difficult for me to use my ward for a long time. So what this Ghost Pyro is going to do is going to see Lee Sin's path, which side of the map he's going to be on, and then also it's going to eventually expire, and then it's going to drop that Ghost Pyro there, so I'm going to get a bit of extra AP there. So already when I'm heading into the game like this, I'm already thinking about how, with FIZZ actually, is different to a lot of different champions. You're kind of reactive. So you're reactive in the sense that you don't really have a choice a lot of the time about how you want to play your level 1. A lot of the time it's actually dependent on how the enemy mid laner plays. So before this wave crashes, I already know there's generally one or two things that are going to happen in this lane at level 1. And this actually is very, very important for you guys to understand, because the way what happens on the first wave will actually dictate what happens for the first 3 levels. So, as FIZZ, one or two things happen. Number one, if that person chooses to use a lot of his abilities on the wave and push me in and build a wave, I'm just going to have to accept reality, take as little damage as possible, thin as much as I can, and then catch the wave under this tower. And then, I'll be hit level 3 around my tower, and then it'll start to slow push out. Or he's going to try and last hit the very last moment the minion's about to die, and he may actually give me the shove, because I can E the whole wave and get level 2 before him. So this doesn't happen as often, but if you're versing a weak early mid laner, like Vladimir is actually quite weak, there is a quite real opportunity or chance that I get level 2 first. And if you recognize what the mid lane is doing, it can already help you mentally prepare your strategy. So if I get level 2 first, I can actually get a really, really good chunk on him, and then in which I can build a wave towards him, and then it'll slow push towards me around level 3. So I'll show you what I mean by this, because Vlad actually decides to give me level 2. So here, Vlad's not hitting anything. He's doing the exact same as me, waiting for all the minions to get low so he can just last hit them, because he doesn't want to obviously slow build. So right now, I just E. And because my E also hit the back 3 creeps, I'm already thinking here, well, if Vlad doesn't hit these minions, I'm going to have the push. So if I have the push level 1 here, I might as well commit and try and get level 2 first. So again, my E is about to come up soon. So what I'm thinking is, alright, well, I'm going to get level 2 first. So I'm already mentally preparing. Okay, I see Lee Sin here. It's not a big deal. I'm going to get level 2 first. I'm going to E in on top of him. I get level 2, and I get to auto reset with my W, proc my electrocute, and chase him down with a few autos with my corrupting plot at the same time. And this is a really standard trade pattern on FIZZ. You can just E on them, E on them, and then auto W, auto reset, and to proc your electrocute and chase them down a little bit. And now that I've committed to this strategy, you just want to make sure that you get this minion wave into the tower. And then what you can do here, what I recommend is duck into vision. And look at this. As soon as I duck into vision here, Vlad is spamming, or Vlad actually did a few, look at these red question mark pings. He's like, where is he? Where is he? It's a really good way to kind of scare the enemy team, and it makes the team panic. And it's just a little, mental warfare. These are just little extra tips. So there's not much I can do here because it's going to slow push out to me. And so I'm already thinking now, my next step. The first part of this lane's over. I'm about to hit level 3 soon. He's going to get level 3 before me, obviously, because, he's killed my minions first. So I'm already thinking, well, this is slow pushing out to me. And this is really, really good as FIZZ. And why is that? Well, because the wave is actually slow pushing out like this, now this is an opportunity for him to either get ganked, because his wave is actually in a really awkward position. He's versing a Rek'Sai. We know Lee Sin's somewhere around this bot side. So either Lee Sin has to hover Vlad right now just to help him get the wave out. Or if Vlad hasn't ducked out of vision, I'm assuming Vlad doesn't have a ward. So that's actually super important if you're a mid laner here. If your jungler starts pathing up here and you know the Vlad's already ducked out of vision, put a ward, you should ping your jungler to back off because there's no point. You're wasting his time. But here I know Vlad hasn't ducked out of vision, so I know there's not a ward. So here I'm thinking, well, the wave's in a really good position. This is where we could potentially either look for a gank, and even if my jungler's not here, I'm going to look to jump on this guy soon because he's in a long lane, and I can, when he goes for a minion here, look, you'll kind of see this play out. As soon as he walks up here to try and last hit these minions or get a Q or auto on these minions, I'm going to walk up simultaneously and Q onto him and auto W, and E. But even if my jungler wasn't here, I would have done it anyway because it's a favorable trade because the wave's in this position. It's on my side of the lane. So yeah, he goes up to go for that minion. I get a really good trade. And because he greeds and goes 2 points Q, level 3, we're able to kill him. And now what you should do is ping your jungler to help you push, get the wave in like this. And this is so you can actually go back to base and spend your gold. Conversely, I could have froze, and done the exact same thing. But I felt like just to be safe, I like just getting the wave in. And yes, it doesn't fully crash like this. But because it's only 2, damage minions is not a big deal here. It's still going to push out towards me. So now I go back and I can get a Dark Seal and an Amplifying Tomb. So this right now, I know Vladimir actually still has flash. I'm pretty sure he didn't flash. I used my Ignite. He didn't flash. And the way is slow pushing to me again. So I see Lee Sin on bot side. And remember, you see this talk about in my other videos. I'm already thinking, well, where's their jungler as I'm coming out of base? What's his path? So I know his path from top to bottom here. And he showed bot. And I know he hasn't reset yet. So I know he still has to reset. And I know this is slow pushing into me. So I'm already thinking, well, I really don't want to go bot now. Purely because I think they're kind of safe. Like, MF looks so high HP. It's going to be really difficult for them to dive bot. And I got this huge wave about to crash into my tower that I need to collect. So what I actually try to do here is I try to use the Scry's Bloom onto bot to see where Lee Sin is. I just miss him. He's actually on those Krugs. And then I chuck a ward here. Just in case Lee Sin tries to come, do something sneaky around our jungle there. Because I know he's in our bot side jungle. And then right now, I just want to try and get this wave. Because I see Vlad on that ward that I placed. So now I just kind of want to get this vision. And I can't react here. It's really bad for me to follow this Vlad. Because, I know that I'm not going to get there in time. And secondly, I'm going to miss all this farm if I go. So what is my mindset now? I'm thinking, well, because Vlad's fully committed, he went all the way bot here, I need to punish them somehow. So what are my options here? Well, I'm either going to go and try and get a plate mid, but there's not many minions on my way, so I don't really feel like that's viable. So what I do is I just lean topside here. And I'm kind of, as I walk up here, I'm unsure whether or not I'm going to be able to get a kill. But it's better to lean topside and help your top laner regardless, even if, because there's nothing I can do mid anyway, and I don't need to reset here. And I can't go bot because I already died. So here, I realize this is not warded because he doesn't change his gameplay. And I see him basing at vision like this. So I thought I could maybe sneak a kill here. And I thought I was in flash range, but I actually wasn't here, so I had to back up and end up trading flashes, which isn't a really good roam. What I should, if you go back here, what I should have done is I could have even E'd first and then Q'd after him. But after this, after I got his flash, I should just back up. And that's a really good, for me, it's really good just to even get the flash. But because we trade flashes and I don't get the kill, it was not a favorable roam for me. So right now, I have to make the decision. Do I want to reset? I've actually used a lot of my corrupting pots here. I think I've used all of them. So I know that by the time Vlad comes back, he's not going to be able to get this wave in. I'm going to be able to collect this wave under tower. If I knew that this was already about to crash, I would probably just go straight mid because I wouldn't want to miss any CS. But now I go for my second amplifying tomb because I really want my Hextech Revolver because I'm heading towards my Hextech Proto Belt. And look at this. I think I only missed one minion there. I'm already back here. So when you go for roam, you need to be thinking about your wave position. So now Vlad has pushed me in. I ping on here. I think they're doing dragon because my jungler's on top side and we knew Lee Sin was most likely bot side here. So what I'm thinking this time is, okay, well, and a really good tip for you guys is once you go one side to blow their flash, to make that roam worth it, you should always try and regank the lane that you blew flash. That's now my mindset, is that I need to kill this Gnar now. I've gone once, I need to go again. So I'm thinking, all right, well, now I just got to be a little careful because I don't know where Lee Sin is. So I end up going for this, calling his bluff, thinking that Lee Sin was on the dragon. And also here, let me go back, and now the reason why I push him out here is that I want to kind of go on him here to kind of free up a bit of space for me to be able to get this wave. Whereas if I just play like a bitch and just play for the wave, he can just full chunk me and it's going to be really difficult. But when I do that, now I can, and I don't even have to use my E, now I can either wave when they're all low, get them all, and then now I can roam topside. Because I can't roam bot, right? The reason I can't roam bot is I know Lee Sin just did dragon, my jungle's on topside, and it's really difficult for me. There's no kill threat on bot here. So I also, and then I know that my jungler's topside, and I just blowed flash before on this Gnar. So I want to regank. So the wave's in a really good spot here. I'm thinking, well, Gnar is going to go back over here to ward, or he's going to be overextended. And Rek'Sai goes. I know he doesn't have flash, so I can throw my fish. I land my fish. I should have E'd that. I didn't think he would do it that early. And then we kill him, but he trades 1-for-1 there. But I get the kill, which is pretty good for me. So now I get this wave, help him get the wave in, and then I reset. So I lose a bit of farm for that, but again, I have to make these plays because I'm not going to be able to punish Vlad 1v1 when my jungler's topside and Lee Sin has river control at the moment. So next, I come back and I'm going towards my Hextech Revolver. And what I really like to build is actually Hextech into Sork boots. It's like tier 2 boots on FIZZ, I think is really good. But because I couldn't afford it, I just got a Ruby Crystal here and a Pink Ward. So now I'm thinking, well, Lee Sin's topside, doesn't have his warriors yet. I'm coming back to lane here. And again, it's very difficult for me to gank bot side at the moment because we have no river control. And then also, they're losing trades bot, so it's really difficult for me to go. And they're going to have full river control. Actually, I won't actually swap the toggle of the vision at all because I don't want to I want to kind of go through this VOD as if it's just me. So right now, I'm just trying to trade aggressively on Vlad because I can. Let's actually go back and kind of break down these trades rather than skip over it. So in lane like this, the biggest mistake I see fizzers do is that they play too scared. So what I see how I'm just tethering here, his empowered Q. As soon as he uses his Q on the minion, then I jump on him. And that's how you get a really favorable trade. Lee Sin's trying to help him. And I actually don't have my ultimate yet. I was pinging my ultimate, so I didn't want to fight yet. It's a really good habit to get into his Fizz because you're extremely ultimate based. You don't want to get into these skirmishes without ultimate. It's kind of scary. Because you want to play for 100 to 0 fights. You don't want to get stuck and not burst the target. So right now, again, I'm waiting for Vlad to walk up and cue this. Say, look at this. I'm walking up to try and zone him off this cannon creep here. So that cannon creep was really low. So then if I walk up the same time, I make him make a choice between that cannon and the trade. And then he actually misses the cannon because of it. And because I'm Fizz, I don't really have to be too scared here. I know there's not much threat on me. Vlad doesn't really have much kill set up. So that's something I'm actively thinking about as well, is Vlad has no gank setup. You know, he has no hard CC. He can't lock me down. So I know I'm all good. And again, I'm trying to put pressure on the map because both sides are losing. So I don't want to play like a bitch right now. I want to just try and create opportunities for my team. That's why I'm not like really playing super scared at the moment. I want Lee Sin to come mid, and that's something you can do if you're ahead as a mid laner. You can start trading aggressively, knowing you can't get ganked, and that's going to draw the jungler mid, so you can relieve pressure from your sides. So I get blue here. He gets the wave in. So this is one of those things where it's kind of awkward. I have 700 gold. I don't have any more corrupting pots, so I end up getting the plant here. But the only problem with this is that when we handed off the blue, bot lane was fighting for some reason. And then Vlad had a base. So what I should have done here is I actually should have just reset instead of getting this wave. Because now Vlad has tempo on me. And I really need a reset. Unfortunately. So anyway, because I've stayed, I'm like, alright, I might as well commit here. I might as well, maybe I can sneak a kill. But again, nah, just backs off because it must have been warded around here somewhere. I end up chucking a pink here to check if this was warded, but this actually wasn't warded. And then I use a Scry's Bloom just to check any vision. There was none. I chuck a ward here, a deep ward while I'm here. And this is the strength of having Ghost Power as well. But then Thresh ends up clearing it. Right now, I know that Vlad has an item advantage over me, so it's kind of difficult for me to push him out right now. And again, I'm just thinking, well, I'm pinging that Vlad is missing, and I can't follow into River right now. And why can't I follow? Is that I don't know where Lee Sin is. If I follow into River, I could just get 2v1'd, and it's not really good. It's really, really hard for me to roam bot. So, the biggest, and that's a huge mistake I see a lot of FIZZ players do, is as soon as they see the enemy laner roam, they try and follow. Even though there's no vision, your jungler's not there to back you up, it's really difficult. What you do is push the wave, and then go to the opposite side. So here, I know, even though my top lane is losing 1v1, I lean up into the top side. Knowing that Vlad went bot, I want to do something to help my team. And a lot of the time, you know, people may ask, oh, look, you roam here, nothing happens. Well, what I'm actually thinking here is, well, I know this isn't warded because no one warded top side, and I have this pinked as well, because they were playing on bot side. So I'm thinking, well, I don't really need to be mid right now. I know Vlad actually died. He's still dead for 7 seconds. I have a bit of time. So I wait for his mega to run out, and then I play patient, and I actually play for this roam right now. So this roam, I would not go for this roam, and I would not recommend this style of roaming and playing patient roaming if the enemy mid laner was already pushing at mid. I only was able to do this because Vlad went bot and died. Even if he went bot and actually, you know, did an extended fight, reset, and then come back, it's still a long time. I'm processing this while going for this roam. If I go back here, the only reason I'm thinking about this is, well, Vlad's still dead for 12 seconds. I have time. So whenever the enemy mid laner roams, you need to be constantly thinking, well, when is he going to get back mid? Because then if I fail this roam and now he shows up mid, I haven't reset yet. He's reset twice over me, and I'm going to have to reset and lose a bunch of farm. But I know I can go for this roam and not really get punished. And I know this because, and I wait for his flash here. I actually missed my fish, but it doesn't really matter. And we get a kill on this guy. And notice how I'm constantly re-ganking the lane that I know there's no vision, and we have like a pink. And I'm kind of trying to bully him and get one side ahead. So now I come back, I get my proto belt here. Because I could finish my proto belt, I actually don't go for boots. I actually just rather finish my proto belt. So now, they're on dragon already. So, and they have full river control. My jungler's bot side. I can't really do anything. So what's my default response? Shove and roam top again. Because again, I can't walk into this bot river. They were just on dragon. We have no control here. I know they don't have any vision. Oh, I'm assuming they won't have any vision on top side, because how can they have vision on both sides if they can't be playing both sides right now? And I just look for a roam top. And again, I don't know what's going to happen as I walk up here. It's just a good habit to get into. And just by chance, they go for this all in. I happen to be here. He just dies, and I end up cleaning up a kill. Generally, after you've ganked the top lane 2 or 3 times, your top laner shouldn't be losing like this. This is something that happens rarely, and why this game was like a really, really tough game for me, because when you commit to one side, you're hoping that side actually can utilize your roams and actually get ahead. But Urgot was still losing, unfortunately. So the next tip here, when you go for a roam, don't just base. Get the wave in, because this is how you don't get behind your counterpart. And notice how my CS is not too bad this game. I'm nearly 100 CS by 13 minutes, and I've done all this roaming in a pretty tough matchup. So then I just reset again. And I'm pinging Vlad on the way bot here, so he can't get a roam off, which is really good. And if Vlad wants to play this roaming game, I'm completely fine doing this, because I can always out-roam him. I'm FIZZ. So now I've got my Sork treads. And yeah, so now I've got my Sork boots, and then I'll see what I actually end up doing. So I come out here, and because my jungler's around the area here, I end up choosing to put my pink on here. Because I felt like I've gone top enough times, and I want to kind of help control bot a little more now. Just because my jungle was on bot side. If my jungler was on top side, I probably wouldn't have gone for that ward. But at the time, he was around his red, so I knew that if a fight broke out, he'd kind of be around the area. And then now, because I've got this pink here, and my jungler's bot side, notice where I'm hovering. I'm hovering bot side. If my jungler was top side on blue and I had a pink on top side, I'd probably be hovering top side. But I'm not. My jungler looks like he's looking for a gank bot. We've got a pink here. We've got a pink here. Should lean onto the side. It's a combination of two things here. Your jungler's location and your vision's location. So again, I'm hovering. I don't know what's going to happen. But it's better than me than sitting on vision in mid. So right now, they don't know where I am. So it's a lot scarier for them. So a fight actually breaks out bot like this. Looks like there was just like this 3v3. My support ends up getting bursted. So in these skirmishes, let me break this down as FIZZ, and something I really recommend is you want to be careful about how you use your ultimate. Unless you know they don't have any way to dodge your ultimate, like they don't have no flashes, no mobility, you can go for it. But what I like to do is I use my proto belt, I get really close, and then I ult, or Q ult. And here we go for a kill, I get the Kate, but since he has 10 stacks of Conqueror, I actually can't kill him, and I have to back up over here. Because he's quite fed, he's 6-0. And then my top laner ends up, he actually utilized those ganks and actually solo killed 9 and got top tower finally, which is paying off. And now we end up killing Vlad here. Notice this is all me from leaning onto the correct sides. I haven't died. Everywhere I've been, something's been able to happen. It's not just by chance. And yes, sometimes it's a little favorable, but majority of the time, if you follow these fundamentals where, you know, you're assessing the kill threat, you're not wasting your ultimate and going for random kills in mid lane, you're playing around your vision, you're playing around, you're playing for your waves, and rather than just like trying to go for solo kills where you don't know where anyone is, you're playing calculated League of Legends. You notice here, I'm not going for any random kills. It's not by chance. I haven't used my ultimate and not got a kill this whole game, pretty much. So now, because he's got 12 seconds on his recall, it takes around 7-8 seconds for me to recall, I'm going to have tempo on this guy. So if I get in base, and he has 9 seconds left, I know I've got tempo here. On him, 8 seconds of tempo. So I come out, get my blue buff. And now, starting to head into mid game here, and this is where you can be a little creative. And I'm going top to catch this wave because Urgot overstayed mid to catch my wave. So I'm able to kind of get a pick on this Gnar here. And the reason again I'm going top is because my bot lane was bot. Urgot was catching my mid wave, so instead of me going to mid, I want to catch his wave to be farm efficient. Just because, don't get angry at the person who's catching your wave. You know, maybe he was already in the area. Farm the wave that's next to you once it starts getting into mid game, and this is how you kind of stay, you know, in a reasonable position in farm. And now this is all bad fighting. Like, you know, this is, I should actually be pinging all these guys off. They should not be fighting without me here. This is really, really not optimal. I want Rek'Sai to hover me topside and push all the way out top, take their top camps. This is really not optimal for me here. And I have everything here. I have ultimate. I mean, I don't have ignite and flash, but I have ultimate. And notice how I know Kate and Vlad is around here, but I don't go for these kills. Because I know my team's not there to back me up. It's super risky. Dragon's coming up soon. I'm not going to risk my ultimate here. And then I see Vlad here, and even then, I don't go on Vlad here because, you know, Caitlyn's in the area. It's very difficult. He has pool and everything. And then I see Vlad walk through here, so I'm able to get like this nice little chunky. He actually uses his pool, so I'm like, oh, cool. He has no pool, but then I didn't check his inventory, and he actually had stopwatch. So that's a big mistake on my part. I mean, it's not too bad because he blew his stopwatch, but the downside of this, and something you need to think about when you're playing FIZZ, is you're extremely ultimate based, right? But this dragon's coming up, and this is the next fight in about 40 seconds. And I'm not going to have ultimate. My ultimate's on a 50-second cooldown here. So I shouldn't actually have been trying to look for an ultimate there, unless it was a 100% kill. And even then, might not even be worth it, because they're going to be up for this dragon. So already I'm thinking now, okay, how am I going to play for this fight around dragon? That's what I'm thinking. So I want to try and stay healthy. That's what my thought process is right now. I don't really want to take too much damage, because this dragon's coming up very soon. So it looks like everyone's trying to jockey for pressure around this mid wave. I can't really contest him on this mid wave at the moment, because obviously they have a lot of members around here. I catch this wave. I don't have a stopwatch or anything. And something to think about here, this is so important. I have a 600 gold bounty. What does that mean? That means I really, really don't want to die. So I value my life extremely highly until I have my stopwatch. Then I can play a little bit more aggressive. So I've got to be very careful. My ultimate's coming up in 5 seconds now. I've kind of stalled out this dragon, which has been really nice. And notice how, here, I'm never just grouping on mid-wave. I always want to position my character coming in from the side. Because what this does, it actually allows me to, it's a lot easier. If they get distracted on Urgot, I can come in from the side, and it's a lot easier for me to land an ultimate here. And then Caitlyn shows bot, and they try to engage. So here, you know, like they're stuck in this weird angle. I'm able to get an ultimate here onto the Lee Sin, and we're able to burst this Lee Sin. Vlad also gets bursted, and I ignite him, and he actually dies to my ignite on the back end. And I'm 7-0 right now. Got a 600 gold bounty. While I'm here, I try to get mid tower, but Caitlyn actually shows up. We end up getting dragon on the backside. So things are looking really, really good for me right now in this game. And in terms of my counterpart, I'm up nearly 2,000 gold, which is nice. Now, here, I should just give the farm to for my AD carry, because I don't want to be mid anymore. I want to be in the side lane, because the side lane towers are broken. It's getting into mid game. I want to start pushing out the side. So I start to recall here. I end up getting my Lich Bane. So this is my next tip. I actually swap to Sweeper. And when you're ahead, and especially in mid game, Sweeper is super, super useful. Because you're going to be coming, I'm going to be pushing aside, coming through here, and sweeping vision, which is going to make it a lot scarier for them. And I get to just know if something's warded. And if I know something's not warded, I can camp there and potentially set up a kill. So once it gets into mid-game, swapping to your sweeper can be really, really helpful here. And right now I said me top, Urgot bot. That's what I was saying in chat. So here I'm walking through, I'm trying to sweep just to see if there was any wards. I actually missed my ultimate here, trying to go for some stupid ultimate. It was a really unreliable one. That's the first ultimate that I've done this game, random kill, that I actually think is a mistake. So in review, I would note that that's a bad ultimate, because again, so unreliable. How am I going to hit it from that far? It was a risky play. Now I don't have ultimate in the side lane. And I saw Vlad around here, so I'm thinking, oh, where's Vlad? Then we saw the Tremor Sense. And now this is what you want your jungler to be doing, is hovering you in the side lane like this while you go for kills. And because this allows you to actually push out the side, which is super good. And your position on this side so you can Q to him. He can't escape me because I'm FIZZ. Get that kill. My team is fighting without us for some reason again and again. While you're in the side lane, there's nothing I can do right now because I don't have ultimate yet. And my jungler's dead, so I don't really want to, and my top lane is dead, so I don't really want to be looking for a roam. And while you're here, again, you want to be making sure that you're pushing out the side lane completely. And this is how, again, you don't get far behind in farm. Once you've pushed out the side lane, it gave my time a little bit for my ultimate to come back up. And now I can start roaming down like so. And see how I'm sweeping on the way here? And what this is doing is if they come in and overextended mid, right now they're actually quite split. I could have gone for a kill on Caitlyn here, but I felt like it was a bit unreliable. So because here I didn't know if he had flash or anything. So rather than do that, I'm like, I'll go for the guaranteed kill here onto the Thresh. So I actually try and Q through a minion here and help back up my team here with this team fight, this little skirmish here. And notice how I'm trying to play as calculated League of Legends as possible. I'm trying to go for targets that I know that I can kill. I know they pinged his flash, he flashed before. So I know this was a kill. Cut off his escape path with my ultimate. Looked kind of ugly, but got the job done. And while I'm here, what do? Always try and get the wave while you're here. And again, this is how you don't get behind in mid-game. So right now, I'm already thinking, all right, it's getting a bit sketchy. You know, it's getting towards mid to late game. Again, I know that I have a huge bounty. And rather than get a Fiendish Codex, I end up getting my stopwatch because I feel like this next fight's probably going to decide the game because Baron is up. And once team fights around 20 minutes plus, and when Baron's in the equation, fights are super important. So I think stopwatch for me was a really good pickup here. So I go top on the way here, get my blue, catch the top wave. I'll try to go top, but again, I can't really push out. So I'm trying to sweep vision for my team to kind of generate a little bit more threat on the enemy. So I walk around here with my team to try and sweep a little vision. And notice how I don't catch top net. I didn't catch top before because I saw Lee Sin. My jungler wasn't in position to back me up. So now I wait for my jungler to come. They're allowed to hover me a little bit on top side. And this is going to allow me to shove out this top wave. So Dragon's coming up in about 30 seconds here. Something like that. So I want to start to move down. And my jungler ends up getting picked here, unfortunately. And they go for they get another kill on my support, and then they start doing Baron. And there's really not much we can do here. I was trying to wait for my ultimate to come back up. I didn't know how long it was going to take them to do Baron. I was trying to scare them off, but I wasn't really intimidating enough this game. I was 9-0, but it wasn't intimidating enough. It looked like they were fully committing to this Baron. My top laner was getting inhibitor, their bot lane inhibitor. I was trying to scare them here. I get hooked into a trap, and then I Zhonya's to try and mitigate that damage, and then I just E out, and then I get healed. So I actually don't give away my bounty, which is very, very lucky here. And we end up getting inhibitor off this, but this is really bad. And now we're versing a comp that can siege onto us, and we're getting quite outscaled by this Caitlyn, and it's getting quite troublesome. So now, this is a huge tip for you guys. When you're playing FIZZ, because your pick, especially when you're ahead, your pick potential is so good. So you should be looking at targets, and I'm constantly assessing this throughout the game. Who has MR and who doesn't? So I remember tabbing. I'm like, well, Nara doesn't have any MR. Lee Sin doesn't have any MR. Caitlyn doesn't have any MR. So the two targets that I struggle to burst is actually Thresh and Vlad. Thresh because he has Aftershock and he's quite tanky, and Vlad because he has Zhonya's and he has Pool, and Lee Sin actually has GA. So it's actually quite hard for me. So what I'm thinking is I want to get to Gnar. And I saw Gnar start to push out bot, and I see this is pinked. And I had Sweeper, but I didn't need to use Sweeper. And when I see Gnar here, I'm like, well, look at this. This is how you create a creative pick. I'm thinking, I'm utilizing my vision. I know which side Gnar is in. If I saw Gnar push top, I would have gone top side here and try and pick him on top side. And as he's pushing out before he groups with his team here, I'm pinging my jungler to come. We pincer him like this, and we actually get a really nice little pick on this guy. And this is a really, it's actually replicable in a lot of your games if you're playing champions that can make picks inside. Because we're not going to be able to, like, defend this 5v5. But now that we have a man advantage, I base, and we actually come and we can actually defend this inhibitor, which was huge for us this game. So we ended up getting that nice little pick there. And I'm 10-0. I don't have stopwatch, so I just got to be a little bit careful. And this ends up stalling out the game even longer and getting us kind of back into the game a bit there. Stalling out their Baron, which was super helpful for us. So yeah, you can see how that's something that's replicable. And that's actually something I forgot to mention this game, is that I'm constantly thinking about who has MR, and because as FIZZ, you need to know the person you go on is burstable. Because if they don't, you're pretty much useless, essentially. So now, again, I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to go on the sides and constantly look for abilities to pick. And notice when I go in top river here, I don't go straight through mid and share farm. I come in from the side, I loop around. I'm trying to use my sweeper and sweep with my team to try and come in and create a pick here. And this is where, if they were a little bit closer, we actually should have went for a fight here. Maybe I should have just threw in my ult because Gnar wasn't here and he didn't have Mega. This could have been a good split fight. But notice how I'm constantly posturing from the side. And this is, again, making sure their team has to back up a little bit, creating space for my team, creating a little bit extra safety for my backline, because then they have to worry about me getting onto their backline. Because now I have Zhonya, so I'm actually quite troublesome. And again, this is, my ability to kind of clear vision here. I never really want to group from the front, and that's something you'll constantly hear me reiterate. And here I end up trying to shove the side quickly, and the reason I'm doing this is, like, I know I have to do something desperate right now, and I knew someone was going to catch it, and I saw Rek'Sai here, so I was actually trying to bait, and he has pull, and he has, I thought we could maybe burst him. He just gets his Zhonya's off, unfortunately, and I think he just misses his Q or something, and then he gets the heal, and then we end up dying. And this is where we kind of like just lose the game, because we kind of get outscaled there. They get the shutdown on the Vlad. Even after the shutdown on Vlad, like we're equal gold, even though they've had Barons and stuff like that. And then we end up pretty much losing the game off this. But I thought this was a really good game to kind of show you guys, because I think there's a lot of solid like fundamentals that you guys can apply to your own game. And I kind of don't want to just show you stomps. And I see a lot of people who do reviews on YouTube. I've been watching a lot, and they just constantly show stomps. And yes, I was fed, but my team, it was a really, really rough game. And so I want to kind of reiterate a few key concepts here. First of all, notice how the mindset I'm playing when I play FIZZ is I want to play Surgeon-like League of Legends. I want to be very specific about my targets based off their itemization. I want to be specific about my positioning and where I'm roaming and why I'm roaming and the timing of my roaming. And if you follow these fundamentals that I've kind of spoke about in this game, you know, re-ganking the lane that you blue flash, playing to the side of your jungler, getting sweeper in mid-game, coming in from the side, looking for picks in the side, constantly assessing the itemization, your kill threat, and playing with not only, you know, assessing the kill threat and the kill setup of your own team. These little things and this hovering, these own little postures of hovering. The one thing I could have done better this game is actually use pings to communicate with my team where I don't want them to fight. It was a bit of a rough game, but again, if you can implement these fundamentals, you know, this is at any elo, pretty much, you're going to be able to carry all. And you know, this is a challenger game. On this account, I'm like nearly 700 LP, so if you can implement this stuff, you're going to be absolutely killing it, and it could be your ticket to Diamond or Master in the next season. So cheers, thanks for watching, and one last thing, guys, if this is something you want to see more, I really just want to get more information from you guys. Like, I'm willing to do any type of content. I just need to know what you guys actually find like really useful. So let me know in the comments below. Cheers. Thanks for watching.